Hello, everybody, and welcome back to M&J Games. I am Michael. Now, today we are looking at another creation by Ted07386, and I have not reviewed one of his coaster creations in a while, which uniquely is his YouTube name. So I'll put the link to his YouTube channel in the description below, as well as the Frontier Workshop page. But this was called B&M Giga, and he's had a couple hyper slash Giga coasters that he's made on his channel, but this is just the most detailed one I've seen. And you'll see too, kind of as we go through it, just the amount of custom supports, custom stairs, everything. And this pathing right here is actually not guest pathing, it's just for employees, I believe, if I'm looking at that correctly. So that's really kind of for the cars and stuff for employees. But as you can see, really cool layout. And it's really cool too because when this was actually made a little bit over a month ago, and maybe actually it's getting close to 2 months now. Good gosh, time just flies by. But and it's called Polaris. And when I saw it on his YouTube channel, I thought, man, this reminds me of Orion. And Coaster Creations said that he actually got inspiration from Orion. He called it Polaris because that was what the coaster was supposed to originally be called. And so I thought that was a pretty cool kind of little interesting tidbit. But as you can see, we've got custom supports. We've got a custom spine on the coaster, which I don't see many people do that, so that's fantastic. You've got lights underneath, so we'll definitely look at this at night. And then the shaping, which I'd love to hear from you, Ted. How do you get that shaping so perfect right there? Because it's awkward looking, but that's how they look on these Giga and Hyper coasters. Is it's like it just drastically changes in a quick moment from a steady incline to that really steep drop. And you can see too how the spine continues all the way down, and it's got a little support there at the bottom. So this is really, really well done. And we'll definitely look in detail about how that was created for those of you that want. But I love how this little plaza area is set up. I just think it looks really awesome. And so let's go ahead and get started and take a look at this because I don't want to take too much time. So right away, if you see, like I said, this is not a full park, but it's almost like it could be a section of a park, right? Um, but as you look here to the left, we've got this kids coaster, and I love this. Let's see, I love this custom fencing here, which I love. Obviously, the use of this fencing, but as you can see, he also uses the firehouse kind of ceiling pieces there, which I think are really good to kind of make the path look neat and stuff. But this fencing, if you're thinking, well, if you're thinking about how do you get this kind of horizontal look right there, all he did was he took the normal fencing piece and turned it sideways. So that's just a really, really cool look and take on it. And as you can see, just all the custom fencing here. You've got this part is actually the decorative curve. Is that decorative course? Sorry, the brick. Because what he's doing there is he's blocking off that part. Um, probably could have also used the one of the triangular pieces if you wanted to there. But I mean, looks really awesome. And if you look at this station, he's got a little light there too. So it looks really good. Which one thing, man, I just even noticed this too. I didn't even notice they always have a notebook there. That's really cool. But then you've got these custom made, so they carry the same fencing all the way around, but you've got these custom kind of placeholders for guests to put their stuff in. And one thing too that Coaster Creations tends to do a lot of times on his stations that I like, at least for the kids coasters, is doesn't cover up the whole station, just kind of covers up the space where the guests are going to be filing in line. It's like I think that's kind of a cool touch. And let's go ahead and take a ride on this kiddie coaster. What is everybody's thoughts about that? I think it was really well done. And it's interesting because when I've made more family oriented coasters in this game, which granted I've only done like 3 of them, I haven't really made one that goes around twice. And I think the difference is with these types of coasters at theme parks, these are the type where you can only ride it as an adult if you've got a kid with you, right? And so they're very small, they're short. That's why they go through the station twice. I think it's really well done. I mean, you can see these are just very, very small hills. It's a shorter train. So usually when I made family coasters, they're just a little bit taller. But this is really, really well done. Okay, yeah, I was about to say it goes through twice, right? Because it just goes pretty slow through the station. But one other thing that I really like here is adding these lights around. So if we look at this at nighttime, I mean, it just lights it up perfectly. And there's no need for the area lights. I mean, it just adds just enough light to be able to make it look realistic because in my opinion, you rarely ever go to theme parks at nighttime. So it's one of those where like you need to have lights, but like you're not really going to be viewing the park at night too much. And even the lights on the lift hill, or at least that's my opinion in terms of the realism standpoint. So that's why I'm not huge into doing crazy lighting, but I am trying to get better with lighting stuff up. And as you can see there in the background, I mean, look at that Giga coaster. Wow, that is beautiful. And just as you can see, we've got this lighting on the edge here. And if these lights over here, this is where on my Dune coaster, I got the idea of putting those lights on the side there is I saw him do this on this park and I was like, oh, that's a really, really good touch. And then I love also the cameras, but I think you did a better job on it than I did with um, Avery Forest because of the piece that you use for it to kind of sit on, which I think is that just that's just the curb, and so your camera, okay, yeah, so it's just like that. Really well done. And then obviously I love the cable boxes kind of going all the way down. You've got the cables running there. So I think that is a really, really cool, important realism touch. But if you look here with the lights, if you can see underneath, there's just a lot of area lights put underneath. And so like if we were to delete this spine, and there's 2 layers to the spine, as you can see, it's just area lights underneath it, as well as area lights right here. But what that does is since there are so many of them and they're pointing outward and like down instead of up, kind of out from the coaster, it creates that really cool look. And so I think that's a fantastic touch. So now let's go back to daytime. Well, let's see. There we go. So now, I think I said this before, I love this plaza. I think this plaza looks awesome. I'm definitely going to try to create a plaza similar to this on somewhere in my next park, kind of as you're getting to kind of a dead end point or a destination point. And then obviously these restroom stalls are nice. So really well done. You've got the little ice cream truck there. And I love too how you got like a separate, like I know Silverette's done this a fair amount. Just you've got this extra little separate space using a different color pathing that really kind of sets it apart. And then obviously love the fencing all the way around. And so yeah, I think what I said earlier is, yep, that's definitely just for staff. So that's not for employees or anything. But as you can see, this is Polaris. So as we walk up the queue, and I love this little pergola that was made. I think it looks fantastic. And this is one thing I want to try to do better on is when I've made pergolas, I've tended to use kind of all of the same building pieces for them. But I like how you've used the, let's see, let's get out of it, yeah. So you've used the Bavarian pillar, which even gives you that kind of nice base piece. And then you've just used the wooden pieces right here. But I think my favorite part here is the custom fencing. This is spectacular. This is really cool. So all we've got here, this is going to be the facade piece. Oops, sorry. Hate how it does that sometimes. You got your cable wiring, and then you got this. And sometimes too, what I've seen people do that I think looks nice as well is sometimes you turn it kind of sideways like that, And now it doesn't really work as well with this facade piece, just because it kind of, as you can see, it kind of is larger than the edge, but it kind of creates that distinctive look as well, right? And then obviously using the, is that the, oh, that's just the smooth concrete. Looks really nice. Now, the only thing, now I actually added this and I recorded everything already, and I realized that I turned my mic off because I'm watching College Game Day while I'm recording this, and so as I was doing some of the POVs or the two POVs, I turned the mic off for that. So I just want to show you what I was thinking here, because to me, I like creating borders as well, and so the one thing you could do here is move this down, and stuff might need to shift over just a tad, but you could just create a small border, and I'm just going to go ahead and shift that over. And so now by creating this border, it doesn't just kind of have that rough ending of the concrete, in my opinion. But I mean, as you can see, this is already at 41%, and there's two coasters in here, and this is on a PS5. So like the amount of detail being used is insane. And I would guess this queue probably, actually this queue is mostly cattle pen, so it's not too bad. But yeah, I mean, just adding that border around all this, I think would add that extra look of just beauty to the cube. And then once again, when you get here, using the smaller fence pieces, which are nice to kind of still create a nice custom fencing look instead of just going to the terrible in-game fencing that comes with it most of the time. Once again, custom. And one thing too with this cattle pen queue, I know most people dog cattle pen queues because they are terrible to wait in real life. But if you think about the game, for some reason, using a grid piece is a lot more efficient than not using a grid piece. So by using grid pieces here, you're able to get 3 times as many pieces of path per piece compared, like towards the counter, compared to if you place the path piece that's not on a grid. So that's why I always suggest using the grid, but love the custom sign. And then once again, I never even thought of this, but using these mouse hunt pieces as kind of part of the fencing there is just really awesome. Well done. These temple pieces are so nice. Absolutely love them. You know, maybe the only thing I would suggest here is adding, maybe taking a wood piece. Like, I don't know how this would look, so I'm just going to test this out real quick, and we'll see how this looks. Could look terrible, and I could be totally wrong. But let's see. So let's take a... So if you take this wood piece... Like I said, once again, just to kind of give it a little bit of a border. Doesn't have to be anything too crazy, which obviously do something like right there. And so it just kind of gives that extra piece or extra border to it. Or you could even use, is that a, oh, that's actually part of that building piece. Okay, I gotcha. But as you can see, love this station. Love the TVs here. They kind of give it the, we're telling you kind of what row you're in, essentially. Or at least that's my guess with it. And love the detailing using the scaffolding pieces. This looks like the colorable panel instead of the rectangular pieces, because it gives it a less thick kind of look to it from the sides. So that's really, really well done. So I absolutely love the station. And let's go ahead and take a ride on this coaster. That was fantastic. I would love to hear your thoughts. And for those of you that have seen his other coasters or other Giga slash Hyper coasters, how does this one compare? Me personally, I still think my favorite B&M Giga slash Hyper that you've made is, what's it called? Well, I'm blanking now. Why am I blanking on this? I think it was just you called it old B&M Giga. I think you based it off of Apollo's Chariot. I still think that was my favorite, but this is definitely up there. Really well done. And I love too, once again, with the spine, using the spine all the way down here to where it kind of covers up some of the chain motor, but then you've got custom fencing. And so if we go over here to look at this awesome transfer track, I mean, when I got in this park and looked at it, I took a picture of this because I'm like, this is well done. And this is what I need to strive to do on one of my other transfer tracks. So I love that you've got this massive space to where you can fit more than one extra coaster inside the track here. And so it's really, really well done. So we see, love the wall pieces. I just don't like the coloring of this stuff sometimes. It's just weird how it kind of colors it strange. But, oh, that's also interesting. What'd you do here? That's a video wall panel. How'd you get the video wall panel to look? Oh, it's a wall shutter. Oh. Now that is a brilliant idea because from afar it looks like a corrugated garage door and stuff. That is a brilliant idea to be able to um, um, just the way that you can save on piece count and stuff. That is, oh, that is really cool. Yeah, so love that. And then obviously love all the backstage stuff as I've shown parts before. And this is made by Brivades, so that's really, really well done as he is such a brilliant builder and creator in this game. And if you come this way, last thing I want to talk about is, as you can see, there are multiple areas where you've made these custom stairs. I love how you've got the open gate, you've got the security camera and all that stuff. And then same thing over here, which this one's really cool because since you use these trim brakes here to kind of slow the speed just a tad bit, as you see on a lot of these Giga coasters or hyper coasters, really. I mean, it's just really B&M coasters like this, and looks really well done. So now, and I love kind of the elements that happen here and the kind of shaping because there's some parts where the shaping looks different, but it's supposed to look like that and just has such a nice kind of whippiness to it. I think the one area is I think it was a little fast coming into this mid-course brake run. So maybe elevating that just a tad bit, even just like up here. But I could be totally wrong about that. That's the only thing I felt like. But this is, like I said, this was inspired by Orion. It's not the exact same layout, but it's definitely got a lot of the same kind of components. And as you see with this, creating these supports, you know, it's just about 66 pieces, so that's not bad. This spine, so and remember that he made two of these, and each one's 176 pieces, I believe. So that's actually no. Are there two of them or? Yeah, each one's 176 pieces. So essentially, that's a less than 0.5%. When dealing with the in terms of the counter on the PS5, and I think that's totally worth it to kind of add that extra realistic element to it. Oh, and something I forgot to mention, guys, I started doing this too for the first time, using these pieces as for the air ducts. One thing you can do as well if you don't want to use these right here is you can, let's see if I can find it real quick. No, it's not going to be. Yeah, it'll be here. Um, Colorable panel. Let's just color it white. Let's get off of this camera mode. So then, you can just move it just like this to where it's just sticking out on both sides, and it kind of creates that kind of separation. So whether you want to use the supports like he did there, or you could do something like this to where it kind of creates the separations that it has. That works as well, and I just think it's a really kind of cool touch to have with, um, kind of adding. Wow, I can't speak all of a sudden. Adding the extra little bit of realism, just kind of makes it look really cool. And so that's my thoughts here. And also, guys, creating these pipes and stuff. This is just done with the small coaster supports, and so that's a really really cool touch to have that extra element to it. And once again, love your thoughts and opinions. What'd you guys like most about this creation? And guys, make sure to go check out Coaster Creations YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed yet. It really makes wonderful content. In my opinion, is um, one of the best 4 meter coaster builders on console for sure, no doubt. And just does such a good job creating the coasters, creating the elements, the designs. So make sure to show him some love and go check out his channel if you haven't already. And make sure to hit the like button on this video. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.